Right, all right, all right. Hello, everybody. We've got a banging best of three here between Solar in the bottom left from Kaizi Gaming going up against none other than Storm's beast. It is MAXPAX'S, the man who literally speedran the European Weekly earlier today, and he wants the back-to-back two-time. He wants to win the North American one as well. It is, of course, MAXPAX'S in the top right, and he is one of the scariest Protoss players. Now, it's funny because him, Creator, a few of these guys have said Protoss is so much weaker after the patch. Void Razor nerfed. It was a big part of our play. These guys are the best performing Protosses right now. Yeah, Hero as well, and I haven't really heard his thoughts. I should shoot him a message about the patch. But it's fascinating to see. MAXPAX'S has been quite vocal with me when I've been asking him questions and talking about it. And he's like, yeah, dude, no, it's a big nerf for Protoss. It's way worse for us. Look at this cheeky Zergling, by the way. Can't even see me. So long story short, it's interesting to see that MAXPAX'S in Europe, Creator in Korea, best Protoss players right now in their consistency and performances. You know, we're going to see that grand finals of the GSL, Creator making it to that GSL finals later this week, at least from when I'm casting it live. So it might have already been played if this one ends up being a banger and makes its way to YouTube. Zergling's going to try to run in. MAXPAX'S, 2 Adepts at the front, second gate there. And you can see the sneaky Zergling trying to get in. Now he's also got Overlord on the left, Overlord on the right. So he'd like to get in there. And I think this is a good idea against the Europeans who don't really like to build the Void Ray. You can see he's building the Stalker. So keeping those Overlords in the dead space, if they don't build a Phoenix or a Void Ray, well, there's nothing to stop you from doing that. And look at that. Overlord's going to spot the third base coming in. Zergling Scouts going all over. Oracle is going to head towards the main. The Spores late, but the Queens are on time. As long as they shuffle to that side of the mineral line, he shouldn't be able to kill much, but the Queens are kind of on the wrong side of the mineral line. MAXPAX'S can easily get 2 or 3 workers over here. And gets 1, 2, 3. Like I said, yep, 3 kills. Doesn't take too much damage. Very good first run by. And oh no, the Zerglings for Solar going across the map. He's got to quickly react. Solar. He hasn't reacted, guys. He hasn't noticed it. Uh-oh. These Adepts coming in, the Oracle keeping him distracted right now. Gets another drone kill, almost goes down. Doesn't quite fall. The Adepts here are already taking down 3 or 4 workers. Oh my lord, nice Queen and Spore block there. Does work out temporarily, but there's still 2 Adepts here. They can get a lot more damage. I love the way the Queens are kind of blocking, making it more awkward for them to move around. Meanwhile, another Oracle does come in. Looks like it hasn't killed anything. The Adept there using the choke point of the Spore Crawler against the Zerg. And it looks like at the end of that, 11 workers go down. The Oracles, though, very damaged. Not going to be able to do any more dives. Oh, actually, there's a third Oracle, so yes, they could. And I do like this third gateway, especially against a guy like Solar. Now, I've been talking about how guys like are loving going Twilight Forge after Triple Oracle. And yeah, you can defend some Roach Sling with it, but Solar's the kind of guy who might just brick you, especially if your Oracle energy is a little bit low. You might just shove Roach Sling in. So you really do need to make sure you have a bit of extra gateway production. If you want to build sentries, you can already start building that count now that the shield battery's there. Or you can chuck a hero and just not even take these gases, go take a 4th base right now at like 5:30 and just be like, lol, 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 lol. I mean, he's already making Stalkers and Blink very early. +1 does start up. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about, that 4th base. Oh, Solar's Overlord doesn't quite see it as well. The Oracles come back in and man, this is a slaughter. Now, guys, the pro gamers did not host this one on WCS Gameheart, which is why we aren't getting those workers killed, but I'm popping it up whenever I can here. 17 total. Units lost tab looking devastating for Solar in this game, and I just think MAXPAX'S has had a bit too smooth of an opening. His Queen, his Oracle micro has been fantastic, and Solar doesn't even realize that there's a 4th base coming out. This is a 4 gas, just, I'm going to play Mass Blink Stalkers and overwhelm you style. I do think, normally if the Zerg has a good start, I don't think this build order is that good. I think you can just play a handful of Roaches, mostly Zerglings, build around a Mutalisks, and just kind of, you know, have an early 4th hatchery, go to the 5th, that sort of stuff. And I think it's really hard for them to find a way in. Now, what's interesting is that's a Hydra Den. MAXPAX'S spies it very early on, but ooh, does lose the Oracle. So I don't know if he noticed the Hydra Den, but if he notices that, then he should be hitting a very sharp attack timing, because you don't want to make him, you don't want to be fighting Lurkers with Stalkers. Either you start building Disruptors very soon, or you try to hit him pre-Hive when those Lurker upgrades are going to kick in. Zerglings are going to run in at this point. There's already a cannon on that base. It's just going to easily block these Zerglings. They're going to go for his probe or 2. Not going to really find anything. Stalkers coming forward on mass. Roach Hydra being pumped out by Solar. No Infestation Pit. Also no Hydra upgrades. He really needs range if he wants to play this Roach Hydra comp. And I think this is a kind of awkward style. I know Cyril's been playing it and really struggling with some of Neeb's Immortal Archon styles. But honestly, I'm just looking at this and I'm kind of confused. Just Roach Hydra? I guess he's just looking for the efficient fight. MAXPAX, though, as long as he adds disruptors in here, your army is just so much lower on the tech tree. Solar's looking to just smash one fight really hard and then maybe counterattack, but without even having an infestation pit started, it feels like any sort of tech transition for him is very delayed. Can't chase down that ramp as that's a bit of a force field. And he's up to 82 probes as MAXPAX, +2 on the way. Immediately drops a second Robo and a Robo Bay. Smooth transition from MAXPAX, who says, yeah, okay. This is fine. He maybe doesn't realize how low the worker count is for Solar, but once he realizes that, he's going to feel really good. Solar is literally just going to do a like 9-minute maxed out Roach Ravager Hydra all in, and as long as you have enough cannon battery, it should be pretty easy to hold. But if you push in, as Protoss players like to do off this style, and get surrounded, he might be able to just crush you and then move across the map. And right now, MAXPAX's actual scouting and awareness of what's happening in the game might be a little low. The Stalker's seeing this move out is very important. He does get one Roach and blinks back out of there. The Warp Prism is going to go past on the right side. Charge is done. The Robo Bay is about to finish. More batteries, more cannons across all of his bases is kind of a no-brainer at this point. Just build more cannons. You've got money for days. As long as you survive against this, I think you're really looking healthy as MAXPAX. These rocks getting broken down. Solar, Roach Ravager Hydra all in. He's only now started his Hydra upgrades. He completely forgot those. Solar is kind of doing a rogue here in that it's an attack that looks like it should never work. But, you know, you can imagine it works sometimes. Otherwise, why would he be doing it? On the other hand, it's been a terrible start for him, a good start for MAXPAX, and MAXPAX happy to take this angle of this engagement. You can see the Biles will get rid of the battery soonish, but oh my god, big balls in the battle. Remember the Zealots inside Solar's main right now as well. This is honestly an easy game for MAXPAX, just absolutely wiping the floor with Solar. This is super one-sided. Now you might be thinking, oh, but they both lost units, armies trade. No, guys. Solar's on 60 workers versus a 5 base, almost 90 probe Protoss. Solar just fell behind against the Oracle Harass and then committed to a very mid-tier tech. But I think he was just too delayed from the opening to hit the timing that he needed to hit to make that work. Well played by MAXPAX. All right. Let's go game 2. He is going to need to cancel the 3rd base. He's going to need to do a Nidus Queen attack, or simply defend those oracles much smoother and get in a much better position. Solar in the top right for Kaiser Gaming. MAXPAX in the bottom left. I do think Solar and many of the Zerg players out there struggling in ZvP right now, they really should be studying a laser. I think a laser's openings, he delays his spores massively, often only builds 1 or no spores in the early stages, and only adds them a bit later. Allows him to just get more queens out, which really zones out the oracles, shuts down the Protoss' ability to get going with that oracle first opening. And from there, he gets such a good economy that he can play mid to late game. He can play up to 80, 90 drones if he has to, often 75 drone Ravager Bane. I think Solar obviously did not play anything close to his best in that last game. It was just, we've all had games like that where the Oracles gets more kills than it should on the start. The first one killed 3 drones, comes back in, kills 2 more drones. The Adepts sneak by your vision, they kill 5 or 6 drones. I mean, it was a disaster to start off. And that's so early in the game. That was about the 4-minute mark that happened. It's not the same as losing 10, 15 workers at the 6 or 7-minute mark, where you've got a bigger base of economy and it's a bit more of like a small dent. This was not just a dent in the economy. This was a big fucking gigantic hemorrhage. Like it was a big slowdown. And when it comes to the exponential growth of the economy, MAXPAX on the other hand was relatively untouched. So this time, let's focus a little bit on MAXPAX opening. Notice that he does have some chrono boost saved up here, but I think he's going to chrono his first adept. Other than that, I think he'll chrono his probes. And yep, he's already chronoing probes on 23. So the moment that pylon unsupply blocks him, he's already getting another chrono going. And this is what I was suspecting. Guys, look, he's not even chronoing his adept right now. So he's going to put all of his chronos into probes. He's going to chrono probes again. Now, this is something, when I was doing Bronze to GM in Masters 1, I was saying, look, you can chrono your first 2 adepts and do really strong aggression, chrono your oracles 2 or 3 times, really strong aggression. And what looks on paper like the exact same build order, if you change those chrono boosts all to probes, and you keep the adepts a bit more defensive, you don't chrono your oracles more than maybe once, and you get these extra 3 or 4 chronos on your probes early, you get such a boost to your economy, and you don't need to do damage with your adepts and oracles. So I like that MAXPAX found so much damage last game, and I didn't study the chrono boost usage, so I don't know if it's the same or if he's changed it, but if this was a conscious change from last game, I think that's genius, because what he's doing is he's saying, hey, wait a second, last game, I did heaps of damage. You're going to be a bit more paranoid. You're going to be more on point with like building Spore Crawlers, Queens, Zerglings. but I'm just going to outprobe you, even without doing any direct damage. And this is awesome. Look at this. The Adept still goes forward, goes for a scout in there. He's like, yep, just sees lots of drones, creep spreading, zerglings, all the standard stuff. He's now going to start a Stalker, as he likes to defend the Overlord. And this is a bad diagonal choke, but he builds an extra gateway to turn that into a beautiful 3-space choke point. 3 range in there. 3 different units can fit in there. Very hard for the enemy to break through. Even if the Adept's misplaced, you can always warp in another one, anything like that. Stalker will be able to damage the Overlord, but notice the Overlord realizes this. He's like, hey, I've seen everything I need to see. Solar's like, cool, get back down here. The Stalker will be able to hit it, but it won't really be able to kill it. So the Stalker's going to go up there, get a few hits, and the Overlord will be able to come back later. Oracle's going to go for the natural. And notice how he's got a Spore Crawler and 4 Queens. There's an argument behind, you could just start your Spores right now. If you want to already have 6 Queens this early, you do not need that Spore Crawler this fast. But this time around, Solar doesn't take any damage. So even though he hasn't been greedy at all, and there's an argument about, oh, maybe he should have been greedier, and maybe this Overlord should be down here because we know that MAXPAX doesn't like to build a Void Ray. I feel like Solar's kind of playing very conservative with his Overlords. Like, okay, now he spreads one out, but these Overlords out here give you a lot of time to move your Queens to intercept the Oracles, and that really helps out. So double Oracle still hasn't found a single kill. Much better opening. The Adepts are going out there, but Zergling on the Watchtower sees 3 Adepts on the right side. It's going to be 4, actually. It's just this Adept went around the left. Very quick third Nexus, though. Went down at 3 minutes 50. 1 Adept gets surrounded. Great pickup by Solar, who's building up to 16 Zerglings, more than he needs. He's going Lair, Roach-Roar, and Second Gas, all at a pretty late timing. So that's exactly what you want against a Stargate build. And MAXPAX commits with the Adepts. They're not going to do anything. So this is actually kind of bad for MAXPAX. If he didn't throw all 4 of these Adepts away, I would have liked his opening much better because he has been hitting his probes. But now he throws 4 Adepts away. And oh, he's following up with Glaives as well. Oh, this is really bad for MAXPAX, guys. I mean, if he surprises with, what is this, 5-gate Glaive Adept, there is a chance to do some damage. Maybe Solar's going to be caught going greedy. He finally gets some workers going, but I think Solar, I mean, he's building 12 more works. I think Solar, honestly, is just going to max out his drones on 3 bases and automatically be building Roaches simply because he's already saturated his bases and still get them in time to defend the Adepts. So this is one of those things where Solar's had such a good early game, even with no scouting, and he's got very bad scouting right now. He has no Zergling spotters out there. This is very lazy by him. He should have reset his vision after killing those Adepts. So this means he's got delayed vision. He's building Overlords. He needs to be building Roaches right now. Like I said, he's got Lava, but he's just not building Roaches. You've got to be building Roaches right now. Okay, Solar, I think he finally sees it. No, he still hasn't noticed. Oh, really bad vision by Solar, guys. And he's going to take damage against an attack, which he's just not spending his money right now because he was like, oh yeah, we'll just see what's going on. Scout, get my 4th, get OV speed. He was getting all the utility upgrades, and look at that. The Adepts are going to go in for MAXPAX. It's a good counter them. The Queens are transfusing, and they are tanking a fair bit of damage. I mean, all the transfuses are now gone, though. So what looked like, oh, why is no damage happening? Well, all the energy is used up. Now he goes after the drones. He did kill 1 or 2 Queens, only 1 so far. But look at how quick that worker line falls. If Solar was a little faster at pulling, maybe it would have helped. These 3 drones down here doing a lot. The Oracles say, hey, get back to the Spore Crawler where the Adepts can kill you, dickhead. 2 Adepts in the main, 2 Adepts in the natural. Those ones will be going down, but damn. Solar messing up his fundamentals. Game 1 against the Oracle Rest. Game 2, not resetting his scouting despite having a much better opening. And MAXPAX with a super delayed Adept timing. And the reason why Solar was lazy on this, guys, is this was such a late Adept timing that Solar discounted it as even being in the realm of possibility. He was like, well, it's past that point. If anything like that was coming, it would have hit already. So I just need to worry about 3 base onwards, like Blink Stalker timing, Sentry Immortal, you going back into Sky Toss, my Overseer will scout this. That attack timing was so late that he's a little bit messy in that one. Baneling Nest is now on the way for Solar. Solar has got to be a little triggered at this one. He's re-droning as hard as he can. The Oracles see everything. Immediate, quick 4th base. Blink behind it. And it feels like MAXPAX is just taking the easy route here. What do you mean by easy, pig? Guys, massing Blink Stalker is like massing Roaches. It's like, I could win by doing fancy shit, or I could just make the basic unit. I'm not even going to make sentries. I just blink around. It's really simple to take fights. You just A move, blink back weak units. Sometimes you blink forward, sometimes you focus fire, but on a fundamental level, Zealot Stalker is such an easy way of winning because it's not that microable. There's not that many fancy units that need to have their splash damage landed just right. It's like, hey, I'm ahead of you. I have more economy. I have more stuff. I win now, right? It's the Protoss is zerging the Zerg. And this is what Hero has popularized recently. A lot of players are copying and following along. And Cannon is there. We got the Stalkers coming forward and the Oracles. Roaches and Ravages there. Stasis trap to fall back on. See, you just go in, pick off a unit or two, pull back. It's quite straightforward. Now, Charge is not quite ready, but he wants to run these Zealots in on that left side. If you could get a Warp Prism out, that would be huge, but the first Robo has only now come down. I do like that Protoss players have figured out the power of skipping the Robo when you play Stargate, right? Especially. But against Zerg, I mean, this is something I skip the Robo. I just play Twilight and no other tech against Terran all the time. People complain that I'm gambling, and I'm like, yeah, a little bit, but dude, you have so much stuff. Skip that tech tree and go for the Swarm Protoss. Now, coming off creep here, once again playing Roach Hydra is Solar. This time he actually has a decent-ish army. He's got 50 army supply lead, but Stalkers are one of the best units for defending in this sort of scenario, especially with cannons and batteries, because Stalkers can always blink backwards and get maximum healing from the shield batteries, whereas other units tend to get isolated and caught out. Now, the Zealot run by does buy a bit of time. This is really important. I think this allows MAXPAX'S to essentially get close enough to Max that this attack is no longer scary. The Zealots pull back Solar for a moment. Solar's like, oh, I'm waiting for +1 range anyway, so I might as well wait. But you know what, guys? MAXPAX'S now, he's at, look at this, 170 supply, double Disruptor building. They're going to pop out before his Stalkers are broken or anything like that. And look at this, dude. I mean, nice Biles coming down. A few of them do land, but Battery Overcharge scares him off. And that's going to buy time for those Disruptors. He's got a firm set of balls, does the young lad MAXPAX'S. And nothing he wants to do more than show just how well he can place those on his opponent's forehead. Of course, for me, back in the days, it was in Counter-Strike, pressing control over my opponent's corpse's face repeatedly. For MAXPAX'S, it's the double Disruptor to the face of Solar. Just to say, hey, don't know if you realize, but you're dead, man. How about a bit of the old teabag? Solar is getting overwhelmed, overrun. It's unfortunate. He had a great start, but those adepts, the strange delayed 5-gate adept timing, catching him off guard, not having enough map control, and being a bit too slow into his roaches. Very well played by MAXPAX'S. As I called GG a little bit early, Solar's still fighting it out, because obviously he's eliminated when he loses this, but he has no chance. Disruptors are such a counter to this army. Blink Stalkers are so flexible. The batteries have got so much value. Battery Overcharge is about to come back off cooldown. Does manage to focus down a Disruptor, but dude, he's lost everything. Just when he breaks through the battery, wait, no, doesn't even manage to do that. The Stalkers and the Zealots are overrunning. The unit's loss tab is nasty, especially when you account for the fact that MAXPAX'S has 20 more workers than his opponent. This is brutal. A new fragrance. Smell like a Danish wunderkind. With hints of banana, cinnamon, and musky undertones. Get yours now. To MAXPAX'S. Yeah, don't forget to pre-order, guys. I'm going to be doing a joint release. I am going to be using... I'll be sending the flasks to MAXPAX'S, making sure he does put a single bead of sweat into each one. It's going to be a limited release, so if you guys want your flask of the MAXPAX'S, make sure you get on it now. It's a very good purchase. Yeah, Solar's going to try and do the Hive Lurker Viper comeback, but MAXPAX'S is like, I'm here, there, I'm also everywhere. Solar does not have the units to split up and defend this. The Queen trying to deal with the Zealots in the main, gonna mass warp in. Stalker's baiting the Roaches and the Hydras into the Disruptors. He says, balls! I'm a Protoss player, I have balls! Also Zealots in your main base. Solar right now, gritting his teeth. He's like, go F yourself, go F yourself, go F yourself. I am a Protoss sniper, man. But I do have to say, in the online cups especially, I feel like Solar ZvP, ever since just before Katowice, maybe a month or two before, the last 4 or 5 months, I think Solar ZvP has taken a huge dip in performance, and it feels really uninspired. Maybe all those years of relying on Queen walks and just bricking his opponent with Ravagerling Queen have, I don't know, undersold some of his skills, and he's trying to go back to developing it, the playset. But that there was just a stellar series for MAXPAX'S, and Solar gets shut out 0-2.